What's up, kings and queens? It's Dan from Dark Previews, and we are back. 6.9 units profit today. We swept the board on single picks. I've got another 4 to share with you. If it's your first time seeing this channel, I do free NBA picks. I also have a free Discord channel, and I also do sports betting coaching. If anybody's interested in that, you can jump into the Discord. But let's not muck around and let's get straight into the picks for today's show. We've got a big slate of games. I've got 4 picks that I'm ready to share for you. Kicking it off, I'm wearing my Knicks shirt tonight, not because of this, but it just so happens to be. And I'm taking Julius Randle over 21.5 points against the Boston Celtics. Now, the Boston Celtics, they do present a tough matchup positionally as they allow the lowest points to power forwards this season, but it's also why we see his line at 21.5 points. So this season, we've seen some power forwards have some success against the Boston Celtics. We saw Paolo Banchero, he scored 23 points. Aldama, 28 points. Siakam, 23 points. And the man himself, Julius Randle, scored 25 points against the Boston Celtics. Now, what all of these guys do have in common is that they score inside, they score outside, and they're able to put the ball on the ground and take it to the rack. So three-dimensional scorers. It looks like the Boston Celtics have had some trouble defending them. And Julius Randle, loving him today. He's covered this line at 50% so far this season, but keeping in mind how terrible his first 6 games were, this isn't so bad. It's actually quite impressive. Now, in his last 14 games, Julius Randle has covered this line 10 times, and he's averaged 24.5 points per game within that span. His field goal percentage is trending upwards, 42% on the season, but he's above 50% over his last 10 games. Combined with his average of 18 shot attempts per game, I like the value in this one. Now, he's also covered this line in 5 of his last 6 games against the Boston Celtics, averaging 26.5 points per game. He did average 20 shot attempts in those matchups, with his lowest being 16. I had a look into his history. Over the past 73 games where he's attempted a minimum of 16 shots, he's covered this line in 56 of those games, which is a 77% hit rate. So happy to take Julius Randle. Really just looking at his volume here. Just chuck it up, Julius. Chuck it up, baby. Because if you do, then we're going to hit this bet. So Julius Randle is our very first one. Our second one, we're taking the man in our thumbnail. We're taking Nikola Jokic. I like his PRA over 52.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, the Joker, he's covered this line in 13 of 21 games so far this season. He's got a juicy 62% hit rate. Now, my main reason behind this play, I'm expecting him to score a lot more points after a 22-point outing, shooting 28% from the field from 32 attempts in a loss against the LA Clippers. Into some more details there, he's covered this line of 29. His points line, is 29.5, and he's covered that in 48% of the games so far this year. So taking his points, rebounds, and assists actually gives us a better chance of winning this bet. In the off chance that he doesn't score 30 points, as we do know that he's capable of filling up the stat sheet in many other ways. He can get 15 and 20 rebounds. He can get 15 assists. There's actually been 3 games this year where he scored less than 30 points, and he still covered this PRA of 52.5 points. So much smarter play if we do it this way. The Houston Rockets, they've done a decent job containing centers so far this season. That's a lot to do with Şengün in the middle. But where they have struggled in games against centers has when they come up against the absolute best bigs in the game. So Anthony Davis, he's played the Rockets twice. Jokic has played the Rockets 3 times already. And in all 5 games, these 2 big men have covered their points, rebounds, and assist line relatively easy. Jokic's last 3 games against the Rockets, he's amassed points, rebounds, and assists of 57, 65, and 69. Give me that line of 52.5 all day, baby. Nikola Jokic. Let's get it, big fella. Our next play, if you watch the channel often, you'd know that we took this bloke quite recently. Talking about Kobe White from the Chicago Bulls, over 20.5 points. So we did take him against the Hornets long ago, and he did cash for us. So I'm taking him again. He does have a better matchup in this game. He's up against a Spurs team that allows the second most points to point guard so far this season. Don't worry about the shooting guard tag that you see up on the screen. The man's playing point. I don't care what you say. Recently, though, the San Antonio Spurs, they let an ancient Mike Conley score 18. Trae Young went off for 45. Reggie Jackson, a.k.a. Bobby Schmurder, scored 20. And Steph Curry went off for 35 points, with all of these guys covering their point line convincingly. Now, Kobe has been the biggest beneficiary since Zach LaVine went out injured, playing an average of 40 minutes per game while scoring 24 points per game. He played 30 minutes when they last played the Spurs, and he finished on 19 points. So with some extra minutes and extra opportunities, I can see him covering this 20.5 points line. The line for this game is only 2.5, so I don't expect a blowout. So I am looking for Kobe to play at least 35 to 40 minutes. And if he does and he takes over 16 shot attempts, this is going to be money. So let's get it, Kobe. And into our last play, we've got I guess you can call it a same game parlay because there is 2 props in there, but there's really 1 prop that we're looking for. So we're taking Steph Curry today. Steph Curry over 4.5 rebounds. That's where his line is set at the moment. The odds are a little bit low on that, so I'm adding 20 points to that, getting that for $1.90. Steph Curry. So every single time I see the OKC Thunder about to play the Golden State Warriors, I think of his rebounds line. Every single time. I think I've taken it in the last 4 or 5 games. Interesting stat here. Dating back to 2018, Steph Curry has played the OKC Thunder 16 times. He's covered this rebound line in 15 of those games. And he's currently on a streak of 9 consecutive games recording 5+ rebounds against the OKC Thunder. So the OKC Thunder, they're a poor rebounding team, both on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. Plus, they don't have the shooters to surround SGA. So a lot of their deep threes tend to miss. Easy boards for my man Chef. So Curry will most likely find himself sitting on the weak side. He'll defend the corner, potentially the wings, and he always seems to scoop up some easy rebounds. I'm telling you now that this line will move to 5.5 come game time, which I still think is going to hit. But adding 20 points to the 4.5 does lift the odds for us. So for those of you who do happen to add the 20 points on there, he's covered 20 points in 17 of 18 games so far. And I think he's covered them in 90% of his games against OKC. So take that, boost it up. But those are my only 4 picks that I have so far. I wanted to get this video out nice and early. There is a lot of games after all. But if you're interested in seeing all my other plays, you can jump into the Discord. A lot of time and effort goes into researching, preparing, and putting these videos up. So if you did like the video, hit the like button to subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment. You can put anything in there, and that's all going to help us. Before I let you go, let's do a quick recap on the 6.9 unit profit day that we just had. We took 5 picks, well, 4 really, one of them being a value play. We had Giannis over 33.5 points. I said the Pacers give it the most paints in the point. Giannis is going to punish these fools, and he did. He hit that 33.5 quite easily. We took Tyrese Halliburton over 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I said it's a big-time game. I don't know if it's going to be points, assists, but it could be rebounds. But I know that Tyrese is going to play minutes, and Tyrese is going to collect stats. So this came in very easily as well. We took Trey Murphy over 12.5 points. I think this line moved up to 14.5, up to 15.5 in some books. And I think he finished on 14, perhaps. So it did cover us, but not for everybody who got on late. He actually didn't play very well at all. He scored most of his points in garbage time, but we'll take the win. We also took Anthony Davis over 12.5 rebounds. That was a no sweat bet. I think he had 9 rebounds at halftime. So a lot of confidence in taking that one. Up 6.3 or 6.9 units. I forgot what the numbers were, but excellent day nonetheless. So that takes our season record. We're 53 and 40, so we're up 12.6 units on those props. Same games, we're minus 2 units. So hopefully Steph Curry can help us get closer to the positive on that one. Value plays, we took a loss. Still 32.8 units ahead. Overall for the season, almost at 43 units, 18% return on your investment. And things are looking good. My form's looking great. It's all happening. So I do appreciate those of you who have tuned in live, and those of you who are tuning to the fact. Thank you very much. Like I said, like this video if you did. Drop a comment. You can say anything. Tell me what you're right and tell me what you're not. Just say something. Help me get this algorithm on my side. And lastly, here's that intro song that a lot of you guys love. I'll see you in the next one. Cha-cha.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.